Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you inside the Cobourg Community Center once again for Cobourg Nissan Kodiaks Lacrosse here on JVI Sports Network in Major Series Lacrosse here in the OLA. Tonight, the Cobourg Kodiaks take on the Oakville Rock. Oakville trying to keep pace with the Peterborough Lakers for top spot in Major Series as Peterborough a one-game lead. They have played more games. And we're underway. Mark Thompson, John Sutcliffe, your two officials. Home blacks, white lettering for the Kodiaks. Here in period number 1, they work left to right away from Kevin Orleman, Stephen Orleman's older brother. And right away, the Cobourg Kodiaks offense goes to work. Home crowd's first look at Dan Lomas tonight as he wears number 12 right in front of the crease. That one just skips past as Nick Rose will get the lumber on it. Nick Rose in the net for the Oakville Rock tonight. Steve Fryer not in the lineup. He'll be backed up by Riley Hutchcraft of the Mimico Mountaineers. Around the outside, Dallas Bridle gets knocked down. That was Matt Van Galen that got knocked down. Bridle back to the net, and the shot just wide of Orleman before going up out of play. Both offenses in our first minute getting a shot towards the net in what should be a good, quick start. Brampton in Peterborough, 14-12 earlier this week. As Killen has it up top. It's returned back to the near side for Goodwin. Big tie up over top of the ball on the far side. And that's Luke Laskowitz. Just trying to figure out the last number in the 7, but it was the 3 of Laskowitz. Hard shot there from the far side by Dan Craig, who slots in to today's game wearing number 33. We were hoping for a Kluche-Connor Fields showdown here today, but not to be, as neither of them in the lineup. Kluche with 6 goals last night for Denver. A bouncer through the legs, though. Dan Lomas, welcome to Cobourg. Dan Lomas, the former Oakville Rock player, puts the bouncer through the legs of Nick Rose, and it is a 1-0 game exactly 2 minutes into our opening period. Lomas late arriving to this Cobourg squad this year, as he was part of that rash of players that were all on NLL assignment as that championship series went all 3 games. But Lomas tonight, his first game at home as a member of the Kodiaks. I believe 2 on the road so far for Lomas, but Capito will now flip to Logan Holmes. Holmes was out of the lineup last week. He slots back in as Kluche is out. As we were saying, 6 goals last night for Denver for the Charlotte Hounds. Connor Fields in his return to field ball after an injury in the NCAA season. His first goal, part of a hat trick last night for Charlotte. To the far side, Andrew Q, leading scorer on this Oakville team, taking top spot. He's still got at least 1 more year of NCAA eligibility before he enters the NLL draft, at which point I'm sure he'll be on the scouts' radar as this one bounces into the corner. Derek Searle up over center. Drake Smith now sidestepping is the lefty. That'll be Brandon Robinson, who scored his first goal in Major Series last year. They tried to return to the far side, and it bounced off a stick where Nick Rose was there to corral it. Into the corner for Q again. Looking for help, finds Tanner Thompson off the bench. two more former Mimico Mountaineers, teammates in last year's Minto Cup, all the way to the semifinals last year, where they were defeated by the Coquitlam Atadaks. Of course, the Six Nations Arrows, the defending champions. Another guy that may garner some NLL attention, Austin Stotts. Does he give up NLL or NCAA eligibility to enter the NLL draft? Sidearm shot from Q over the top. In on net, Orleman with another save. Oh, Orleman having trouble with it late in the 5 count here. Finds Liam Patton, two former Okotoks Raiders teammates at last year's Minto Cup. Straight down the pipe shot from Killen, about halfway through the shot clock, and Nick Rose able to see that, make the save, and quickly up the floor for Alex Krepensek. On Monday night, a blowout victory for the Rock over the Brampton Excelsiors. Krepensek, the only one of 18 runners not to put a point on the board. And Nick Rose had 3 assists. So out of the 20, including the backup goaltender, only 2, including the backup goaltender, without a point. Spinning and firing sidearm, Capito off the post. The transition specialist has been a superstar for this Kodiaks club the past couple seasons. This year, no exception. And just missed, putting his team up 2-0 right there. Shove on the near side. Van Galen pushed away. Q down into the corner, now takes it to the crease. This shot into the stick of Orleman. And too many men against the Kodiaks here. It is a 1-0 lead. Off the goal by Dan Lomas. And we've played 5.5 minutes here in the first period. Closing in on 10 after 6 local time here in Cobourg. 6 p.m. start for every Cobourg Kodiaks home game. And they've had a bunch of them, only 3 left, if I'm not mistaken, after tonight's game. As Shalyn Rogers races in, he'll pass back to Pat Walsh. Rogers will stay up on offense, something he did on Monday night. With the absence of Wes Berg, Brett Hickey, Justin Martin also hurt now. Tanner Thompson will send it to Q on the far side. Shalyn Rogers played up on offense all night on Monday and ended up with a hat trick. 2 really good transition players there, Rogers and Capito. And that time it was the Kodiak captain getting the better of the battle. Killing off the bench, Drake Smith trailing. Ball in the corner though, as it's Logan Holmes. Sends it to the left side. Laskowitz down low, killing a sidearm shot. And that hit somebody in front, not Nick Rose. And quickly played up the floor for Brandon Slade. Number of players not in Oakville's lineup today, as Dallas Bridle uses his size to take that one out of midair. And now the return pass out of the reach of Darryl Robertson. He chases it down the floor, but beat there by Jordan Magnussen. Magnussen, the Oakville and Toronto Rock player, will head off the floor now as the ball is sent into the corner. Bridle back for Van Galen. His shot through a crowd. Orleman sees it. Down the floor, Derek Searle and Capito. 2 on nobody. Capito into the top corner. It's not very often that Capito gets all in on a netminder and misses, and he doesn't here either. Joey Capito already with 2 breakout opportunities, and the second one of the game he capitalizes on to give the Kodiaks a 2-0 lead. 7.5 played here in the first period. Brad Cree hard after this ball on the far side. Patton is there, along with Chris Willman. Those of you who've been following us all year, remember we spoke about Liam Patton with General Manager John Webb, and he said they didn't want to put too much pressure on the youngster. Shot right in the middle. Dan Craig gets one back. More on Patton in a minute. But what a laser from Craig, and that one wasn't in the stick very long before he sent it to goal and in behind Orleman. Great play from the breakout player, Dan Craig, this year with the Rock. And I believe that may be his first MSL goal as they take the ball out of play. Face-off win here by Magnussen. Played right back to the restraining line. Jubenville quickly in, and his shot goes wide. Jubenville, a member of that Arrows Minto Cup team, known for his transition abilities. Tanner Thompson filled in after the ball went loose. Craig trying again. This time the shot goes wide. Bounces into the stick of Charbonneau. He's got Capito with him. Charbonneau to the net. Cuts back. And it's called a crease violation by Mark Thompson. Break there for the Rock. And Kodiaks coach Jamie Dubrick doesn't like that too much. But it remains a 2-1 game. Already nearing the halfway mark. Win it out as Tanner Thompson shoots this into a crowd. Bounces up top. And here comes Riley Campbell in alone, and his shot gets past Nick Rose. Make it 3-1. 2 goals in transition here, and after that one, Nick Rose had a shake of his head. Capito in conversation with Sutcliffe about the crease violation, but it's a moot point now as they get one back, does Cobourg, and they stretch their lead out to 2 again. 11 minutes remain here in our opening period. If you're new to Major Series or OLA Lacrosse, 3 20-minute periods with a 10-minute rest in between. If required, a full 10-minute overtime. A lot of movement in front of Nick Rose this time as Lomas shoves his man away. Shot from Laskowitz goes wide, and 2 Rock players break out. James Barkley and Shalyn Rogers. Rogers in the corner, a swim move to get past Pete Rennie, and then his shot goes wide. Rogers down. Rebound bouncing to Robertson. Terrell Robertson with it. Kyle Killen off the bench, accepts the pass. Him and Krepensek are going to go one-on-one on this set, and it's Killen who's going to win the battle. 4-1 Kodiaks as Kyle Killen now. What a start for the Cobourg Nissan Kodiaks. And we remind you, backup goaltender, normally Steve Fryer for the Oakville Rock. Picked up his first win of the year early on this season. First MSL career win for Steve Fryer. But he is with his junior B team tonight. Rogers gets hit with what the bench thought was a little high, and John Sutcliffe disagrees. Patton gets away with one. But it's Riley Hutchcraft backing up Nick Rose. Hutchcraft saw his first NLL action this year, be it in garbage time against the Vancouver Stealth, who, if you missed it this week, are under new ownership, the Vancouver Canucks. NHL franchise taking control of the Stealth for next year, playing out of Rogers Arena. Shot by Bridle, stick save made by Orleman as it bounces to the far side. Tanner Thompson out of the crowd. In front to Q, he goes over the shoulder and around Patton. That's a great save by Orleman off a great shot by the youngster, Andrew Q. Patton up over center now. Tyler Albrecht. Robinson, a pick for Lomas, who goes to his left. He'll shoot and score. And it is 5-1 for Cobourg. right now, all Kodiaks, as I know it's a bit of a trek from Oakville. That's basically the one our crew takes to come into games here to Cobourg. But my, oh my, bus legs are, I'm not sure, for Oakville here. 11 minutes played and 4-goal lead for the Kodiaks. They're up 5-1 here in the opening period. Barkley trying to change that. Goes to Rogers and no. Rogers did score but was in the crease when he did so. And the Rock bench not happy with that. Lomas with his second of the game now. This is why you tune in early, folks. There's a save from Nick Rose off the shot from Laskowitz. He's had a couple looks from the left side so far tonight. Drake Smith lost his stick. He was late getting to the bench, and the Rock nearly capitalized. But a great job getting out by Patton, Capito, and Searle to counteract this offense. Dan Craig shoots. Bouncer just wide. Off the glass, straight for Reed Reinhold. Reinhold had a hot stick on Monday night as well. A number of quick stick goals. I believe he had 2 or 3. As Capito stopped in his tracks right at the face-off dot. Bradley Cree stood him up. Getting up slowly on his way to the bench is Tanner Thompson, who was back on defense. Straight down the pipe, Van Galen stepping into a shot. The Oakville Titans senior BAP for most of the season this year for the Rock. And now Nick Finley. Finley and Killen, both coming from Peterborough in that trade for Corey Small in his return to Ontario Lacrosse. Killen making an immediate impact with 2 goals in his first game. And he's been a great offensive power on that right side. Not this time, though. And something happened in front of the Cobourg bench that John Sutcliffe has singled a player out here. It's a slashing call going to Brandon Robinson. And goaltenders will take a chance to grab a water break, and we'll take a chance to check out these standings here. In Major Series, the Peterborough Lakers have played one more game, and it is a victory as they sit 6-1 over the 5-1 Oakville Rock. And Cobourg Kodiaks have played 2 less games than the Brampton Excelsiors, as they, with a win, can actually close in on the Brooklyn Redmen, who are only 3-3 coming out of the gate. Here goes Capito again. Q this time pushing him aside. Capito around the corner. Craig and Q, the 2 defenders, back for Oakville. And Capito just ran out of room that time. Still 5-1, a minute and a half remaining here on the penalty. Slashing penalty to Brandon Robinson. Challen Rogers trying to capitalize power play. His shot bounces wide. Q. Bit of a hitch at the end of the shot there for Van Galen. He gets knocked down as the ball is played off the boards here by Doug Utting. Utting to lead the rush. Now Lomas. Kodiaks actually used to man that end down to our right-hand side in the first period last year and decided this season to switch as they thought it gave them a better transition chance for 2 periods out of the 3. Nifty pass by Rogers around his back. And we see that perhaps that reasoning was correct. At least here tonight, as they're up 5-1 with 5.5 remaining. 30 seconds left in Oakville's power play. Q controlling up top, shoots down the pipe. Sounded like it hit something on its way through. The refs disagree unless it was a defender. And the ball bounces all the way down to Nick Rose, who will just bomb it back and negate the shot clock. Patton waiting the whistle for the restart. There it is. And this will do it for the Robinson minor penalty, as there's only 10 seconds remaining in that. 5 minutes remaining here in our first period. A reminder to follow us on Twitter at JVI Video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you've missed any games, there's a MSL playlist with all of our live streams, as Killen apologizes to the man he ran over, causing the minor interference penalty. And the pass intended for Reinhold on a couple bounces down the floor. Orleman back for Charbonneau, and now Cupido. If you are subscribed, make sure your notifications are turned on as we upload tape delay games from time to time. Lomas, a bouncer wide of Nick Rose. That one all the way back up to center. Laskowitz with it late in the clock. Killen just trying to get the reset, and he does on the run, but Bradley Cree there to accept the rebound. Patton quickly to the bench. Reinhold stumbled. That allowed Searle to close in. And now Derek Searle and Shalyn Rogers. Rogers gets the step on Searle. Back up top, shot Van Galen. Orleman will make the save, and Orleman down the floor on a bounce. Doug Utting had to angle away from the net in order to chase that one down. And Utting will pass this one back to the offense. Laskowitz working around a pick there was Tyler Albrecht. Rebound rolls into the corner where it's picked up by Cobourg. Connor Goodwin chased around back of the net by Hostrauser. Bill Hostrauser shoving Goodwin now as the ball is on the left side. Laskowitz over top of a crowd. Played back here for Goodwin. Quick stick now. Save made by Nick Rose as Laskowitz comes to the bench. Rolling down the floor on the wrong side there for Jubenville. He'll pass this one to the offense. Q looking for a shot. Trying to get back for Jubenville. Him and Bridle got their signals crossed, and then a late stick check there caused that pass to go weakly into the stick of Derek Searle. 2.5 remaining. Along with Kluche, no Matt Croak, Chad Cummings, Colton Armstrong, or Dylan Hutchison. And as we said, Rob Cruz backing up Orleman tonight as Dave DeRuscio is out of the lineup. Lomas sending this one high. Laskowitz. Fans in Cobourg want more. Rebound off the end boards and off the stick of Drake Smith. Bouncing wide to the crease. 2 minutes left here in the first period. A quick first period. Shot through a crowd. Reinhold. Back for Rogers. In the corner, Van Galen. And Rogers again. Rogers cutting to the net. The shot going wide. And into the corner. It bounces back for Searle again. Another loose ball. And a 3-on-nobody. They tried to get it to Patton. As a late change there from the bench of the Oakville Rock. 1.5 left in the period. 4-goal lead for Cobourg. Far side, big fake, and cutting to the net, Dan Craig. What a play by Dan Craig to get the second goal in the game here for Cobourg. And only down by 3 now as we enter the final minute or so of our first period. That's 2 goals for Dan Craig. We had to add to our lineup. Already talked about no Steve Fryer. Also, no Nolan Apers, no Justin Martin. Jason Noble, Mitch DeSnew, Luke Magnan, Wes Berg, Brett Hickey, Johnny Palace, Ryan Benesh, and Brad Gillies pretty good list of players not on the bench today for Oakville on the list that we were given. Still 18 though. And the only addition, Dan Craig. There is the last minute of play as Cobourg lead by 3. They push it behind the crease, cutting through and unable to find Logan Holmes. Orleman all the way out of his crease. Up about halfway to the face-off restrainer. Charbonneau will come and hits from long range. Nick Rose in the throat guard. He's asking if they want him to come to the bench. 34 seconds. Matt Sawyer says no. But now he's got the arm in the air. I'm not sure if that was a call or a stop sign as Dallas Bridle gets it back. Bridle, Van Galen, Reinhold on the crease. Back for Van Galen. He backs up. Far side, quick stick, Craig. Orleman down. What a save as he moves the left leg. Now Orleman wants to know if they want him to come. Lomas out the front door. 8 seconds. Now 6 as he gets to the net. Save made by Nick Rose. 3-2 here on the far side. And sliding, making the stick save is Orleman to put an exclamation point on a great first period by the Kodiaks. They lead 5-2 after 1. We're going to take a quick timeout here in Cobourg and be back. You're watching Major Series Lacrosse on the JVI Sports Network. Second period underway here in Cobourg. 5-2 after that first period for the home side. Goals, two of them from Dan Lomas, Riley Campbell, Joey Capito, Kyle Killen, and a pair by Dan Craig for the Oakville Rock. As Cobourg continues to push it on here against Nick Rose, who takes up residence in the net to our left now. Double team on the ball. It's rolled towards the net and wide. Straight to Challen Rogers. He grabs it right as the shot clock expires. Now time for Oakville to take advantage of the short offensive change if you haven't been following us all season. It is a benches on opposite sides here at the Cobourg Community Center. So Cobourg taking advantage of that arrangement in the first period. Now we'll see if Oakville can, as the shot from the far side bounces off a shoulder from Connor Goodwin. Back into the corner as Nick Rose watches the shot clock sound again. So two straight shot clock violations as Q will send this one up the floor. Into the corner for Thompson. Crouches past a check and just got rid of it before going in the crease. Then Bridle taken down by Patton. Rowan Kelly, same fate happens to him at the hands of James Barkley. Kelly looking back for revenge. Forced Barkley to get rid of it in a hurry. Krepensek to the half boards for Rogers. Challen Rogers spins back away. Rogers back up top. Craig cuts back. Dan Craig now cutting in towards the crease, a number of fakes on the crease, and he'll put it behind Kevin Orleman, his third of the game and the third for Oakville as they trail now only by, 2 goals. It is a 5-3 lead for Cobourg. Oakville was able to get one late one back in the end of that first period. But other than that, mostly all Cobourg Nissan Kodiaks through the first 20 minutes of play. There's now another face-off win here for Magnussen. He'll send it back for Brad Cree. At one time, Brad Cree was a phenomenal face-off man, but a couple pretty severe leg injuries over the past couple seasons as his shot from Cobourg bounces off a body and up high off the glass. Q comes down underneath of it. So we've seen with both Oakville and Toronto Rock now. Bradley Cree still out there on the draw team, but not at the dot as they found pretty good man in Jordan Magnussen. Lomas again over the top. His low shot steers just wide of Nick Rose. Number of bounces to get down to Orleman. And quickly up was Jubenville. He was looking for the big hit, which Robinson just rolled around, and then eventually the double team of Slade and Jubenville took Robinson to the ground. Couple big chops on the far side. Doug Utting. It was Rogers responding to the slashes with a cross-check straight into the numbers. Utting goes down, and that's a moving screen. Smith back for Laskowitz to the far side of the crease. And the official was right there making sure the toes were clear of the Goodwin shot. Goodwin works his way through everybody, and then Challen Rogers back filling in Goodwin after. Everyone thought that was going to be interference, but the whistle sounded because the ball rolled into the crease of Nick Rose, and he hung on. Connor Goodwin disagrees with the call from John Sutcliffe. Here's Reinhold. Tried to flip it there for Andrew Q, and those two just can't connect, so Capito will send it up here for Lomas again. Lomas backpedaling. Laskowitz. Luke Laskowitz now. Turns and fires. Gets one around Slade. And another goal for the Cobourg Nissan Kodiaks. They extend their lead, bringing it back up to 3. So Laskowitz making it 6-3, and 5 different goal scorers for the Cobourg Kodiaks now in this game. That's something that over the last couple of seasons we really haven't seen, as it's been 1 or 2 players getting most of the goals. And a reminder that Chris Kluche, who over the past couple of seasons, if it hasn't been him or Capito, it really hasn't been. Kluche not in the lineup. We understand an injury last night. And despite that, still getting 6 goals for Denver. What a season for the rookie in Major League Lacrosse. Those south of the border, learning something we've known for quite some time, watching him play here in KW. Also, a few brief stints out west. Shot in on Orleman that time from Tanner Thompson. He makes the save from his feet. Lomas around Bradley Cree. Lomas into the corner. Killen reaches around Shalyn Rogers and puts it past Nick Rose. Killen now with a pair. And the lead is 7-3. Four-goal lead for the Cobourg Kodiaks as they continue to keep their foot down here today. A reminder that in the standings, Six Nations and Brooklyn only with 6 points. Cobourg and Brampton come in today with 2. Or pardon me, 3 each. So a win by Cobourg today would actually move them within 1 point of that logjam for what is the final playoff spot at the moment. Only 4 teams making the playoffs in Major Series this year as Albrecht sends it far side. Our chat with John Webb before the first game of the season, he said that was the goal for the Cobourg team. Hostrauser and Sutcliffe now in disagreement. And this team feels like it is a realistic goal. Craig once again. That one skipped right in front of Orleman, and he wasn't sure where it was, so hangs on for the whistle. Just over 6 minutes gone in our second period. Far side, Lomas. Lomas back to Killen, now in the corner again. Working out with it here is Albrecht. He goes back to the far side, and a soak there from Bradley Cree. He'll feed Andrew Q. Q down the floor, shot and a save there by Orleman. Andrew Q getting a defensive shift for just that reason as he sends it down the floor. But Orleman equal to the task, as we've now played 7 minutes in the first period. With the top, Reinhold. Sending it back for Craig. Q on the crease. They elect to go to the right side instead. Swim move, shoveled back, nobody home. And that's out of the reach of Reinhold. Capito up for Patton. Patton the shot, and the left wing pops out there from Nick Rose. And Hostrauser trailing the play, able to gobble up the rebound. Rogers and Reinhold. Shot saved by Orleman. He'll send it on a bounce for Robertson. Gets it as far as center, now turns back. Albrecht has Holmes trailing the play. Lefties first, a shovel shot there from Killen. Goes wide of the net. Another one that bounces through the crease. This time Jubenville will get there first for Oakville. And they feed the man off the bench. And it's Matt Van Galen, the first Oakville player not named Dan Craig to score here today, and it's the 4th goal exactly at the 8-minute mark to make it 7-4. Still for Cobourg, but Oakville just not going away. Yes, the Kodiaks have looked great, but this Oakville team just hanging on, and they're missing, again, like we said, a large part of their number 1 offense. If you joined us late, including Ryan Benesh, Johnny Pallas, Brett Hickey, Wes Berg, and Justin Martin, the most recent injury, along with Hickey. Far boards, played back for Lomas. Those Rochester Nighthawks gloves as he high steps his way into the zone. Less than 10 on the shot clock as Goodwin comes flying off the bench. Lomas around the net. He accepts the pass. The shot bounces in on Rose, who makes the save. Rebound secured here by Oakville. From the half boards, Tanner Thompson. Reinhold and Thompson back to the crease. Craig making a bid for 4. But the Georgia Swarm glove of Orleman there to bat that one aside. Q nearly tripped up by Derek Searle. Q still with it. Sidearm shot, save made by Orleman. And he keeps that in his equipment. Kodiaks will get the ball as we pass the halfway mark here. Drake Smith can't hang on as it bounces out of his stick. Slade will pick it up, facing a wall of Kodiaks though. Slade to Rogers off the bench. What a nice play that was, as Rogers gives it back to Slade. The pass was a little bit late coming, and Rogers nearly ran himself out of room as he got close to the crease, was able to turn around. Had the wherewithal to pass back to Brandon Slade, who then had Orleman all twisted out of sorts. And don't look now, but it's a 7-5 deficit for Oakville to try and narrow the margin even more. Talked about this a little bit in the first period as the Kodiaks took off in that transition game because they had the short offensive run on the Oakville side now, and they're starting to chip away. Laskowitz will take the shot. It's lost in the feet of Rosie, though. Still bouncing around and gets some help from his defense. Patrick Walsh. Up for Rogers. Works it out to the far boards. Van Galen. In for Reinhold. One-handing it. Back up top. Van Galen again. For Craig. Over the top. Tanner Thompson falls in front. Shot there from Craig. Goes off the crossbar, and hard on him is the defender. Doug Utting taking Craig down, looking for the loose ball. And Utting will get a change in favor of Steph Charbonneau, but it will be Oakville ball with a fresh 30. Bridle, Van Galen, shot, Orleman save. Rebound for Searle. And that's going to bring the crowd to life here as the Let's Go Kodiaks chant starts. We've heard that throughout the Cobourg Community Center since they moved from KW. Over the top. Chant doesn't work this time as Nick Rose makes the save and controls the rebound. Off the bench now. Bridle finds Q, the cutter. And Orleman had the 5-hole closed there. Orleman wanted a call. Not sure what that was about, but didn't get it as Cree now, pardon me, tries to dig this ball out. Lomas, short bounce to Killen. He'll flip for Laskowitz. They're joined now by Goodwin. Laskowitz far side for Lomas. He'll work around Robinson. Killen. Robinson, the last one to touch it. They try and go there, but it's intercepted by Cree. Here comes Hostrauser. Shalyn Rogers off the bench. Reinhold. Crowd still trying to get behind now their defense. Cutter off the bench. Still no pass from Reinhold. Reinhold still with it. Finally, Q coming in to pick Rennie out of the way. Shot recovered by Reinhold. And we'll get a fresh 30 with 7.5 left to play. Shot there, hit as he was shooting was Shalyn Rogers. As Doug Utting, couple fierce defensive sets for him now. Last couple trips out on the floor. As he sent Dan Craig. And the most recent time, Shalyn Rogers down to the floor. Here's Laskowitz behind his back. Looking there for Tyler Albrecht. And it rolls into the corner where it's picked back up. And then a diving attempt made by Goodwin. (7-5) the lead, Oakville. Bit of momentum here in this second period after it was all Kodiaks in the first. Leading 5-2, 5-1 most of the way as Orleman makes another save. But a late goal made the scoreline a bit more respectable. For Oakville, they started with a quick one in the period, and we've been right around the 2-goal mark ever since. Lomas from up top, a low shot into the stick of Rose. Couple players tangle there as Hostrauser goes down. Him and Logan Holmes got their feet tangled. And another discussion from the Oakville bench as the official walks past. Van Galen to the net. Utting able to slow him down before the shot. Loose ball to Utting, and Capito the fast break. He'll put the brakes on, spin back shot, and filled in after the fact. As it bounces out of the crease, Chris Willman. The loose ball, he gets sent up the floor. As now the Rock offense changing up. Thompson in the middle. He clears out of the way as Reinhold comes in with the ball. Reinhold a dive, and the sidestep move from Orleman to both make the save and get out of the way. Straight up the floor to Drake Smith. Off the bench. Smith now for Albrecht. They've got Laskowitz in the middle and Logan Holmes as the shot comes from up top by Lomas. One-handed grab, though, on a bounce by Pat Walsh. Was nicely done. Only one player down the floor with him is Slade. Lomas takes Walsh all the way to the outside, and Lomas will stay out and play defense here. He's a long way from his bench. And he'll be the guy that recovers the loose ball on a bounce to Kelly. And a hard shot. Stepping into it there was Killen. Rowan Kelly circling the crease, and he somehow gets there first as a trio of Oakville defenders were standing by. Bradley Cree, nice hustle play off the bench there, takes a slash from Kelly after receiving the loose ball. Rogers making his way to the crease. Free arm gets away from Charbonneau, and Nick Rose will run to the bench. And double penalties here. We're getting a hold on the low defender. And John Sutcliffe has a roughing call up top as well. I believe Pete Rennie's getting a rough, and Charbonneau is getting a hold. So two defenders that the Kodiaks rely on a lot now are off for 2 minutes. Charbonneau, one of their draft picks. Rennie's been here a couple years. He was once the transition speedster until Capito came to town. And ever since, Capito really has been one of the top favorites pretty much every year to win NLL Transition Player of the Year. Nominee for that award again this season. Rogers and Craig up high. And rather than the safety valve up top, the Rock decided to put Q in behind the net on this 5-on-3. In an interesting setup. It's Craig now behind the net to Q, to Reinhold. Craig picking in front. Shot there from Van Galen, and that one gets through. Orleman, just way too much movement for him to do much with. And we've got ourselves a 1-goal game as Oakville has clawed all the way back. It was once 5-1 near the end of that first period. 3:41 left here. And it looks like Charbonneau comes out of the box. So a minute and a half left in the minor penalty to Pete Rennie, a roughing minor. And the face-off won by Magnussen. Straight back for Slade. And here come the power play unit once again. Not the star-studded big names we're used to seeing, although we do have a couple Rock players in Rogers, Dan Craig, and Reed Reinhold down on the crease, but still potent nonetheless. That shot just wide past the left side of Orleman by Q. Bounced, took a funny bounce actually, I believe off the dasher and go straight up hard into the rafters. So our 3-minute warning here. Second period in Cobourg. Sees Dan Lomas have Robinson in front of him. Those of you used to Major Series from last year, shot clock is ticking down despite Cobourg being on the penalty kill. That's a rule change for all levels in the OLA this year. As Jubinville will send it up the boards. 16 seconds left to work for this Oakville power play. Q up top this time in the more traditional power play set. Craig faking the pick on Capito. Now he does as Reinhold. There's the quick stick we saw the other night. And Orleman spins away from the check of Reinhold, was in the crease. And the bench is going to argue the crease interference call. John Sutcliffe says the ball and the stick were out of the crease. So no dice there, but we are back to 5-on-5. Laskowitz, his shot goes wide off the end boards, and now the crowd inspired by the penalty kill. Try and get the Kodiaks back with their wheels underneath them, as this period has been all Oakville. Dan Craig, one-on-one with Udding. Udding will shove him aside. Tanner Thompson cutting through. And it'll be Thompson recovering out of the corner. Q on the crease. And Craig late in the shot clock. Shalon Rogers just picks up, but no time to fire one. And a 1-goal lead with 1 minute remaining roughly here in our second period for Cobourg. Would love to get another one here. Slade. Far side for Rogers. It is the final minute of period number 2. As they work to the outside, interception. Here comes Capito. Only one back to beat is Van Galen. Capito's shot, and Nick Rose there to slam the door. Picked up by Rogers. I look to the bench. No timeout yet. Neither team took one in the first period. Reinhold will flip this back to empty space. And Capito still down the floor. Searle can't get it away from Q. Q with 15 seconds on the shot clock. He goes one-on-one with Patton. Into the corner, Rogers. Now Q, his shot off the post, past the foot of Orleman. Q gets it back on a bounce. And as he worked to the crease, nearly got the shot away, but timeout called by Oakville. 20 seconds on the game clock. Didn't quite get a look at the shot clock, but should be about 26-27, I would think, as Nick Rose will come to the bench, and they will probably go 6-man set here. A lot of what looks like tired bodies is Q and Rogers have played nearly every offensive possession. And an extended power play there as well, full 2 minutes, as Cobourg had a 5-on-3 briefly. Cobourg getting a lot of their home games out of the way early as we broadcast this on June the 24th. 26th is Tuesday. Six Nations will host Brooklyn, and then Brooklyn will host Peterborough on Thursday. Pardon me, that's Wednesday. Brooklyn hosting Peterborough June the 27th. 2 games on the 28th. Six Nations in Brampton. Cobourg will go to Peterborough in what will be a good test for them. And then next weekend, July 1st weekend, Happy Canada Day, ladies and gentlemen. No game here at the Cobourg Community Center and no webcast for us either. Rogers, far side. Thompson. Big pile up in front as Capito goes down at the hands of Reinhold. Clock continues to tick down, and a shot right at the buzzer from Craig. Gets a second one, and then into the crease, in on Orleman, and a lot of words after, but a good job by the officials to jump in. 7-6 as Cobourg just hangs on at the end of that period. And we'll take a timeout. Third period comes your way next. You're watching Major Series Lacrosse action on the JVI Sports Network. We'll be right back. We get you set for period number 3 here in Cobourg. And the Kodiaks off that fast start. 5-1 was the lead. Late in the first period, they scored a second goal just before the end. And then a quick one at the start of the second period. We're able to hang on to lead 7-6 after the second period. That's where we sit right now. Dan Craig with 3 goals. Matt Van Galen with a pair, and Brandon Slade, your goal scorers for Oakville, as Nick Rose makes another save. On the Cobourg side, Dan Lomas a pair, Kyle Killen with 2, Capito, Laskowitz, Riley Campbell, the other goal scorers. Back to the floor configuration we had in the first period, with Oakville going right to left, away from Nick Rose. Orleman remains in the net for the Kodiaks. Tanner Thompson over to Andrew Q. Q with Capito on him now. Q will take a shot. And it went wide as the shot clock was expiring. Capito find a man off the bench. That first period was explosive in transition for the Cobourg Nissan Kodiaks. A low shot there, skips past the net from Tyler Albrecht. May have hit the foot of Nick Rose actually, but no reset called by Mark Thompson. And everybody on the bench of the Kodiaks disapprove of that call. Reed Reinhold from the corner. Craig picked there. The ball comes to Challen Rogers though. Van Galen looked like he had a hold of the stick of Charbonneau. As Craig releases the shot, it bounces off the end boards and all the way down the floor. Piece of equipment from an Oakville player kicked towards the bench, as Van Galen will turn and dump it towards the net. But wide as the shot clock sounds. Orleman looks like he may have sweat in his eyes or something, as that ball scooted right towards where he was and made no motion to play for it. As Drake Smith and Lomas, the first extended offensive pressure here for Oakville in the period, and the Lomas shot ends up going high off the end glass. Krepensek starts the counterattack to Q in the corner. Low shot, Reinhold, he's bumped. After releasing, Searle. Up top here is Dallas Bridle. Bridle will leave for Reinhold, now Thompson. Thompson around, a couple checks. First from Utting, then Rennie as a sidearm shot comes from Q. Wide off the end boards, and now Orleman will corral it from in behind his own net. 3 minutes back and forth so far in this third period, which will be ever important. And then just as I say that, Albrecht steps into a shot over top of everybody and through Nick Rose as well. First goal in quite some time for Cobourg, as they've got a bit of a cushion again, 8-6. As Tyler Albrecht gets on the board. Now becoming the 6th different Cobourg player to score here in this game. Race for it. Down into the corner. Nick Rose is going to win. He had the shortest distance to get there. James Barkley in behind him. Takes the roll. Patton probably trying to catch his breath now as he jogs back into the defensive zone. Quick check with Reinhold. Ball on the near side though. As it's passed there from Craig. Reinhold circles the net, and Orleman on top to smother it. This is the home of the Cobourg Cougars. That was very much like a hockey goaltender. Cougars, the winners of the 2016 RBC Cup in this building. They say Killen had the goal. I was pretty sure that was Albrecht. If it is Killen, that's his hat trick. Here's a shot. Hard in by Willman. Save made by Orleman. They're fighting over the rebound in the corner. And it's Doug Utting who dives in a huge oil slick just inside the fan. We'll put a halt to proceedings briefly as you look at Orleman coming to the bench. Once again, folks, the standings here just before the midway of the season, which is usually where the Canada Day weekend break falls. And you can see for Oakville, one game back of the Lakers because they have played one less. A win here today will put them in a tie with Peterborough for that top spot. Cobourg and Brampton down at the bottom, but you can see 3 points for each of those. 6 for Six Nations and Brooklyn. So a chance to go one back of the Redmen and the Chiefs here today. As we come back to live action, Tanner Thompson off to his right-hand side for Orleman. Rennie. Reinhold. Van Galen through a crowd off the post. Reinhold looked like he was going to shoot, gives it to Andrew Q on the crease instead, and Q forces Orleman into a save. Q gets it back and rips one. Just way too much for way too long there in front of the Cobourg netminder. And we may have a battle down the stretch here as Oakville pulls back within one. That is the first goal of the game for Andrew Q. Normally with 2 or more by now, as Magnussen back to the faceoff, gets pushed towards the near wall, and Rowan Kelly chasing it down. It gets lifted into the Cobourg bench. Albrecht returns to the near side. Lomas in the corner, out of the reach of Killen. Brad Cree is there. Played up for Dallas Bridle. Dan Craig out the front door now. Trailing the play, Shalon Rogers, his wrong side. He'll spin off. Now gets to the correct right side of the floor. And his pass tipped. I believe tipped by Derek Searle. Charbonneau on scene. There to collect the garbage. And Kodiaks back the other way. Goodwin spins away from a check. Now Laskowitz providing a pick. Another one in front as Lomas gets it. Drake Smith. Laskowitz in the corner. Lomas is up top. He cuts to the net now. Laskowitz still with it. A bouncer from in front. Hostrauser coming down with it. And Utting and a host of players quickly out the front door. Hostrauser got dumped by Utting just as that pass was sent to the far side. Finley was all over Andrew Q. So it ends up being Cobourg possession as we've played 6 minutes here in our third period. A reminder, if required, a full 10-minute overtime period could be in effect. A long way from that yet, though, as Killen's shot ends up in the corner, picked up by Brandon Slade, and he's going to get the wheels going. Capito already on the floor, as now the rush coming again. Tanner Thompson shooting as Patton arrived on scene. Another loose ball for Charbonneau, and Patton down the floor. His shot off the left shoulder of Nick Rose, where it's picked up by Magnussen. Rogers to Q, shot over the net. Bridle nearly had it back, but down the floor, racing away from everybody, is Robertson. Got a track meet now here. The third period is transition opportunities at both ends of the floor, and Nick Rose is going to call for a water break to put a brief halt to proceedings as, my goodness, that was back and forth after the Q goal, which made it 8-7. Good look at Nick Rose, one of the perennial favorites in the National Lacrosse League for goaltender of the year. And Orleman has seen time with, or at least training camps with, 3 different NLL teams, including the Buffalo Bandits, who drafted him, Rochester Nighthawks, and now the Georgia Swarm. Van Galen. Back for Thompson. Awkward collision there with Campbell. So he goes down. Van Galen. Capito, it bounces away from him. Him and Craig were tangled up. That allows Van Galen to get it. Q on the crease. Turns and fires a shot into the feet there of Orleman, where it'll be brought up by Campbell. He'll pass it through the change box, where Logan Holmes is waiting. Holmes still with it. Far side. Logan Holmes burst onto the scene last year. About halfway through the season, had 6 goals in about 2 games here in Cobourg. Used to have a bright orange stick. As Nick Rose comes away with another save, shoveled back up top, Dan Craig. And as Holmes has got rid of that orange stick, his scoring production has somehow dissipated as well. May need to find that one again. Craig shovels it back. May have been better to shoot as Q got it and shoveled it towards the net. And here comes another transition chance. Rowan Kelly, a flip back for Lomas. And that's straight into the Oakville logo on the chest of Nick Rose, as the Rock will recover. Barkley, Willman, Q off the bench. Tanner Thompson. Trailing the plate, Alice Bridle. They go to the far side. Thompson in the middle. Bit of a fake just before taking the shot. Orleman not fooled though, as Robinson quickly end to end here. A great third period shaping up. Although not if you're a fan of offense. Only 1 goal apiece to speak of so far. And we've already played 9 minutes here in the period. Couple hard collisions down in the corner. Krepensek, the beneficiary. As Dan Craig will walk in, finds the crossbar. And that bounced right off the iron, straight back, too hard for Rogers. Still fighting over the loose ball as Utting up for Capito, all alone. And every time he touches the ball, gets about center. Everybody in attendance, you hear the oohs and ahs as they know something good might be about to happen for the home side. And now they applaud the effort from Capito, who also drew the interference call. Capito will stay out on offense. A high step into coverage. Back for Laskowitz. Capito now heading off. Keep your eye on the bench here as Robinson comes through, but it's Drake Smith on the crease to make it 9-7. We were talking about Drake Smith before the game, the younger brother of Dane Smith, and saying he's good for about 1 goal a game, 1 or 2 a game. Not really what he's been called upon to do here in this lineup. His score uses his size really well to open space, but scored an absolute dandy of a goal last week, going behind the back, crossing in front of the crease for Cobourg. Kilden tries exactly the same move we're talking of, but ran out of real estate as he towed the line. And the woo sign makes an appearance over on the far side. Tanner Thompson off the wall in front. Craig wasn't ready for the pass, but nice reflexes to catch it. And same for Orleman, as that shot was from close range. Charbonneau and Bridle tied up. They work it into the corner. Reinhold. Rennie on him. Utting now on Q up top. Q just lowers that shoulder. And he is another strong young athletic player. Reinhold shoved towards the crease. It will be a crease violation as again Orleman takes evasive action. 9 minutes remaining in regulation time. 2-goal lead for Cobourg. Not only trying to keep pace with Six Nations and Brooklyn here, as in front Robinson got a step on Barkley and just shot it off the shoulder cap of Nick Rose. Lomas recovers the loose ball. Playing it back here. Killen taking care of two defenders all by himself. As now Albrecht will push it to the far side. Laskowitz back for Lomas. Puts the brakes on and a bouncer lands in front of Nick Rose. I didn't think that hit him, but it does go up out of play. And Mark Thompson disagrees and gives the ball back to Cobourg. Holmes off the bench with the white-headed stick. Number of dance moves here, and we're going to get a holding penalty as Connor Goodwin worked his way to the crease. And extended offensive pressure for Cobourg will result in a Kodiaks power play as Brad Cree goes off for a hold with just over 8 minutes left to go. And Cobourg leading by 2, 9-7. A reminder that our next Cobourg Nissan Kodiaks home game webcast is in 2 weeks, July the 8th. Only 3 more remaining after today, the 8th, the 15th, and the 22nd home games here in Cobourg. So as the weather starts to warm up and the barns do as well, how about some air-conditioned lacrosse? It's worth the drive to Cobourg, isn't that how the saying goes? Lomas, Laskowitz, back for Lomas, his shot wide off the end boards, bounces straight to a Rock player, gives it to Challen Rogers, showing his transition chops, and undresses Orleman to get one back here. Just as we were praising the offensive pressure, the power play coughs one up, and a shorthanded goal for Challen Rogers. The first for him tonight after the hat trick on Monday. Again, a game where he played up on offense. He's done that a lot here tonight as well, so must have been happy with that performance. And why not? 3 goals. Face-off. Clean win there for Derek Searle. Captain Capito. Starts it back after the loose ball. Lomas, Laskowitz. Playing catch up top for the moment. Now Laskowitz will cut in. His shot to the side there of Nick Rose. And again they go up for Rogers. This time the bench all over it. Rogers from long range. Shot off of Orleman as Patton and Robertson, were closing in. Dan Craig. Andrew Q. Tanner Thompson. Thompson to the far side. 50 seconds remaining in the penalty to Oakville. Matt Van Galen breaks free of the pile. Van Galen with Capito on him. Van Galen's shot off the arm of Orleman. It's down in front of Q. Double team was right there, and it's going to be Pete Rennie picking it up. Rennie turns. Lomas controlling up top. Final 15 seconds of both the shot clock and the penalty. Lomas. Pick in front there. The shot comes down the pipe. And Rose makes the save. Watch the door here as it just won't open in time as now Cree gets ready to step back out. Cree will join the offense as Reinhold has it on the far side. Dallas Bridle. Van Galen behind him to provide a pick. Interception, and here goes Capito. And again, everybody leans forward in their seats. And this time it's Rose again on the crease violation as it rolls into the corner. Boy, oh boy, excitement and energy fills the building every time Capito touches it up top. As here's Dan Craig. Q with the pick this time. Craig from long distance. Patton down the floor. Off the bench. And Dan Craig down in the defensive end of the floor. Able to recover it for his team as there were 2 Rock players down there. Played back for Van Galen now. 5-on-5 with 5 minutes left to play. Spinning and firing is number 4, Andrew Q. 1 goal deficit for Oakville. Charbonneau and Q. Now Patton coming in to help out. Patton up top for Robertson. Frustrating night for Andrew Q, who slams his stick into the glass behind the bench as he makes his way to the off the floor that time. Laskowitz to Drake Smith. Lefties involved now. Back for Laskowitz, a low shot on an angle. Oh, that one rippled the mesh, but it was off the back of the net. Shot clock down to 5. As Willman looked like he was just going to muck it, Laskowitz gets it back and turns and releases, but the shot clock had already begun to sound. And now you start counting possessions. 4 minutes left. Thompson. Utting in his face. Thompson's lost the glove, which he now recovers as Rogers gets to the far side for Q. Q working to the net, turns and shoots one into the stick of Orleman. Searle on the glass. Offensive players streaming off the bench. Tight game here. Crowd getting into it. Lomas in front. Killen. It's actually Albrecht. Pardon me. Turns and fires. And right on cue. Killen was setting the pick in front, so pretty sure this time it's Tyler Albrecht. We've got him for 2 now in the game. But again, that first one, they had credited Kyle Killen with his hat trick. Either way, it is a 10-8 lead now for Cobourg. 3.5 minutes left here in the period. Josh Sanderson over on the Oakville bench, drawing up a play for the offense, using this as a bit of a mini timeout. Remember, they used one in that second period. Kodiaks will have both should we head to overtime. Pardon me, have both in their pocket right now. So they would have one for overtime. See if Oakville elects to take one here or not, or save it in case we have an extra 10. Capito. Quick check over his shoulder as he heard footsteps of Hostrauser. Now Killen to Laskowitz. Laskowitz has Lomas with space. Lomas takes it, cuts back. His shot forced wide by Barkley. Laskowitz far side. Hostrauser on him. Hostrauser poking at Laskowitz. Late in the shot clock, and there it goes. As already the offense had basically given up on the play and left Laskowitz stranded on the far side. Crowd not happy with a 2-goal lead. Reinhold flipping back for Craig. That's off a stick. Nice job by Craig. Bouncer to Van Galen. Oh, what a shot from the Oakville Titans player. He's got his hat trick tonight. Had one earlier on the 5-on-3 power play. And we're back to a 1-goal game. 2:25 remaining in regulation time. Don't go anywhere. Overtime already here in Cobourg. It was our opening game of the season between Cobourg and Brampton. 12-12 was the final then. 10-10 going into the extra frame. And it was the Cobourg Kodiaks who had to score Buzzer beaters twice in order to secure the 1 point. And as we talked about the standings before, those 1 points do have a way of finding them, of making themselves very important as we get down the stretch. Up top, Reinhold. He goes around his back for Craig. Craig has been quiet since the first period. He had that hat trick and the quick one after the second. What can he do here as he backs into Charbonneau? Craig still with it, takes the shot wide as the shot clock sounds. Minute 50 seconds remaining in regulation time. 10-9 Cobourg. You enjoying this? We sure are. Be sure to subscribe to our channel, folks, where you can watch all of our MSL and Cobourg Nissan Kodiaks coverage all season long. From the far side, played back for Lomas. His shot well wide, and Jubenville picks up and right over the top of Lomas, but it knocked the ball free. Laskowitz comes in and knocks Jubenville. And with a minute 20 seconds left, Oakville will get the ball back. No timeout yet. It's played in the corner for Reinhold. Reinhold. Q sets a pick. Tanner Thompson into the corner. Van Galen, the most recent goal scorer. Van Galen pushed aside. Bridle hard into Udding. No moving screen called there. Van Galen's down in the creases. His shot forced Orleman into a save. Another one from long range from Q. I don't know if he thought the shot clock had gone or not. What was that about? Cobourg will have it. There's an oil slick down in the corner. I wonder if we'll get a stoppage for a wipe down. Patton and Reinhold are out of the frame down in our left. So this is basically a 4-on-4 offensive set for Cobourg. Can't get it away from the boards, though, as Lomas stuck close to his own net. He went around his back, and timeout called by Oakville with 24.7 left. Oakville will get final shot here as they look to tie it up. Pretty sure Nick Rose will be on the bench. Pretty sure there will be 6 attackers already lining up. Let's go right to left on your screen right now. Dan Craig got a hat trick in this game. Shalon Rogers a hat trick Monday, one shorthanded now. In the middle is Van Galen. He's got a hat trick. Reed Reinhold, I believe he had a hat trick on Monday night as well. All quick sticks like we talked about. 91 on the left of your screen. Yet to do anything tonight. So is Tanner Thompson. And Andrew Q steps off the bench to complete the 6-man set that'll step out for the Josh Sanderson offense. Cobourg counters with Derek Searle, Steph Charbonneau, Dale Robertson, Liam Patton, and Joey Capito. And, of course, Kevin Orleman. And it all comes down to this. 24.7 seconds left on the clock. A 1-goal lead for Cobourg. Will Cobourg be tied for top spot? Or pardon me, will Oakville be tied for top spot, or will Cobourg sit 1 point out of the playoff picture? Rogers with it. Up top, Van Galen to the far side. Craig behind the net. Looking for space. Reinhold sets a pick. Up top, Van Galen. Down low, quick stick, they score. It is Reinhold. We said how quiet he's been all night long. And that's pretty much how all 3 of his goals looked on Monday night. In what is becoming the Reinhold special down on the crease. The Casey Bearns-esque goal. Reed Reinhold ties it at 10. 7.7 left, so looks like we may be getting some free lacrosse here, but still time. 7-7 left. Nick Rose is back on the floor. As the face-off, it is Brad Cree back at the dot. Hostrauser will brace over top, and as Cobourg pushes it down the floor, the horn sounds, and for the second time this year in Cobourg, we are headed to overtime. A full 10-minute period coming up next You're watching MSL Live on the JVI Sports Network. Ten minutes on the clock. And it is not next goal wins. It is a full 10, but we've seen a couple times in these overtimes that sometimes maybe one is all it takes. What a third period we were treated to there as they went back and forth. And it was Oakville winning the period, winning the second and third, 4 goals apiece in each one to now tie it 10-10. And the first save goes to Nick Rose. No change of ends here in the overtime period. So it remains Oakville going right to left. Bridle colliding hard on the near side. There's Reinhold up top. Q to the net, his shot. Bounces wide, picked up by Craig. Here's the man that tied it, Reinhold. Van Galen already with 3 today. Shot around a screen. Orleman looked like he was late reacting, but stepping towards it. That one off the stick. It gets shoveled into the corner and picked up now by the Kodiaks. Couple dance steps. Lomas to Drake Smith. Smith playing it back. A flip pass in the middle. And Willman all over his man. As the defense have stepped up the last couple times down the floor for Oakville. That's what set up the timeout, as Kodiaks couldn't get past their own bench. All stuck on the near side. Down goes Searle, gets up and responds with a hard chop into the midsection of Tanner Thompson. Now Searle and Thompson shoving as a shot comes from Reinhold on the far side. Orleman the save. And quick restart there by Capito. Up for Rennie. There's the Cobourg faithful again. Watching Killen. Albrecht up top. He goes straight to the middle. Now Lomas. That pass just behind him. So Hostrauser will chase it down into the corner. And now Hostrauser in stride. Finds Van Galen off the bench. Craig to Thompson. Shalin Rogers in the middle, setting a pick. Andrew Q will set one there for Craig. Utting, a nice job to recover as Rowan Kelly takes care of Q in the middle. Chopped there by Utting, pulls it free. Here's Campbell with one already, and a save made by Nick Rose. Check into the far boards as Pat Walsh recovers the Lucy. 3 minutes gone in our extra frame. If it's still tied after 10, that's the way we finish today's game. And Oakville will pull within one of top spot. Sidearm shot, Orleman turns, and late arrival into the crease. Arms went up from Q and Reinhold. John Sutcliffe said no, and it's an answer back the other way. Connor Goodwin in overtime. 11-10, the first one. And Charbonneau is going to go all the way back down and give a high five to his netminder who hung on and made a very awkward save, but they all count as Cobourg goes back the other way. They strike first in the extra frame. 3 minutes, 18 seconds in. It's Connor Goodwin. The 8th different Kodiak to score in the game today is Connor Goodwin, and many of them have been in transition. Albrecht trying to keep it going. We've got him up here for 2. Killen passing back for Robinson. He wasn't sure where it was. Now Brad Cree pushing it ahead. Orleman will come out of the crease and dance away from Cree as Orleman bombs it. I believe that one ended up, I was going to say in the crowd, but it bounces into the corner. As Orleman, a nice job, saw the hit coming. Kept his bearings and his feet. And Challen Rogers, though, couple fakes in towards the crease, and we're tied. As Challen Rogers, this offense thing seems to be working out for number 23. As he's now got 2 on the evening, and we're knotted at 11. That's only 4 minutes of our extra period. Still 6 to go. Connor Goodwin, now Challen Rogers. 11 all. And we're right back where we started. Pair of 18s, Magnussen and Searle, head to head. And loose ball won there by Patton. Quickly flips to Capito, who slows things right down. Getting the offense out. Holmes backpedaling. Lomas into the middle. Krepensek on Lomas. Shot from Goodwin. Hostrauser with it. Nearly got pushed back into the crease. Hostrauser and Holmes laying in the crease of Nick Rose. Meanwhile, the ball pushed up the floor as Reinhold steps onto the floor. Rogers in the middle. Craig from his wrong side finds the inside of the post. And this one's going to bounce all the way down the floor. Whoa, Nick Rose having trouble with it. Craig all the way back to center to meet the Rosie pass. Rogers. Big high step before he crashed his way in. And now Reinhold. 15 on the shot clock. Rogers. Pass was briefly behind him. He draws the triple team. They go back for Reinhold again. Or pardon me, they go back to the crease. It's not Reinhold this time. The first lead of the game for Oakville comes just over the halfway mark of overtime as Andrew Q. It's either Q or Craig who found that on the crease. .445 left. And it is a 12-11 lead for Oakville. Just have not gone away. Lead was never more than 4 goals when it was 5-1 for Cobourg, and Oakville just able to chip their way back in it. Nick Rose, who looked pretty shaky in that first period, able to weather the storm and get his feet back under him and keep it tight. And it's now 12-11 as Oakville lead Cobourg. Still time, though. As we said, 8 different Kodiaks have scored tonight. And what has taken on a very important, what has become, I should say, a very important subtext to this game, that face-off battle between Magnussen and Searle. And that time it was Searle being called on a violation. Tanner Thompson to Reinhold. High pick from Q. He gets it back for Van Galen. Charbonneau will push Van Galen wide. Charbonneau still on Van Galen. He stops just past the crease as Thompson's shot saved off the foot of Orleman. Charbonneau for Robertson now. 4 minutes remaining in our overtime period. 1 goal lead for Oakville. Robertson down the boards. Up for Albrecht. In the corner. Robinson. Brandon Robinson. Lomas a hard shot. Rose makes the save. And Rose will back his way out of the crease. Looking for any type of outlet all the way down the floor over the center line was Rogers, who had difficulty with it, and Rowan Kelly the beneficiary. Lomas now. Lomas and a hard shot there from Goodwin, his second of the extra frame. Connor Goodwin with 2 tonight, and they both come in extra time. 1 to give the Kodiaks the lead here in effectively the 4th period, the overtime period, and 1 to tie it again at 12. Reminder, this is where things ended 12-all in the opening game of the season between Kodiaks and Brampton. Goodwin from Lomas. There's Killen. Drake Smith, Kyle Killen. A lot of space. Lomas up top. Robinson on the crease. And his shot goes wide as he was reaching over top of Nick Rose. Killen up top. That one hit Rose, they said, the initial one. Robinson's gone through the crease. He can't touch it. Now Drake Smith does. Quick stick opportunity and just missed on the back end. Believe both sides have a timeout here as we head down the stretch. Bridle. His pass to the far side. Craig, full sprawl, and then diving for it in the hand touch there by Utting. And Craig gets up, and there is a massive puddle over on the far side they're going to need to take care of before we go any further. 2:21 left. Orleman coming to the bench for a well-deserved water break. Gets it from Robbie Cruz, who inadvertently won the halftime frisbee toss, actually. Robbie Cruz. He was cleaning up the frisbees in the penalty box and blindly threw one over his shoulder, and he was closest to the dot. They didn't count that, though. Dave DeRuscio, the normal backup goaltender, not here this evening. Neither is Steve Fryer, the normal backup for Oakville, but Riley Hutchcraft drawing in for Fryer. It's been Rose and Orleman the entire way. And they've each allowed 12. That's where we sit right now. Closing on the 2-minute warning here in overtime. Shalyn Rogers trying to break the deadlock. Reinhold cutting through. Doug Utting nearly went through Dan Craig as Q gets it back. Now Capito up on Q. Q spins back. Sidearm shot saved by Orleman. Bouncing back. Q wants it again. And it's picked up by Craig. That's Reinhold. As Thompson heads off to the bench, Van Galen takes his spot. Matt Van Galen is shot down the pipe and a save made off the chest of Orleman. Capito down the floor, Charbonneau, nobody there. Breakaway on Rose, a shot wide. As diving there was Shalyn Rogers, minute and a half left. And we'll get a stoppage as Oakville touches it so we can get another cleanup on aisle 66. My goodness. What an opportunity that was. More electricity in the air. It wasn't Capito that time. It was Charbonneau as the transition wheels quickly becoming a very big part in the makeup of this Cobourg Nissan Kodiaks team. Everybody on the edge of their seat, some of them standing to watch that Charbonneau chance. And just dancing a little too far out of the reach. You see Josh Sanderson again drawing up a play for Dallas Bridal. Matt Van Galen, Reed Reinhold, Tanner Thompson. And now the last one to get out there. Jordan Magnussen up on offense this time. Shot there off the back of Searle. Comes down right in the sick of Capito. He motions everybody up the floor. Goodwin the first one out the door. Capito still with it, spins back, nearly cut to the net. Closing in on the final minute as Laskowitz takes possession. 15 on the shot clock. Laskowitz. Jubenville will force him all the way out to the boards and up near center. Pass there for Albrecht. Goodwin now. Goodwin the crease. The shot towards the foot of Rosie and the save made. Laskowitz shoving there. Hostrauser with it behind his own net. Played up the far side. Craig into the middle. Q with it. Andrew Q. Hard shot from up top. Tipped by Capito. Reinhold chasing after it. As is Armstrong, and it'll be Capito getting there. Capito calls timeout, and the fist bump salute afterwards. 28.5. They did it in just enough time as well, as Kevin Orleman will come to the bench. And it'll be Kodiaks with the six-man set. That Brampton game, it was a last-second shot in the third period that tied it. And then with 14.5, the Kodiaks got one more to retie the game to make it a 12-12 final in our season opener between Cobourg and Brampton right here in Cobourg. If you'd like to relive that, it is available on our channel. We remind you to hit the subscribe button and sign up for notifications as well, as we continue to bring you lacrosse action from all over Ontario. Junior A, Junior C, and who knows, Junior B playoffs are underway now as well. .5 left here. Week off from Major Series for us here in Cobourg. We'll be back on July the 8th, our next live game. Six-man set here for Cobourg. They'll start it up top with Goodwin. He's got two already here in the overtime period. Joined on the left side by Robinson. And I can't see who's in the corner, but I'm guessing Lomas. Killen, Laskowitz, and Albrecht on the right side. It is Lomas. He's up top. Krepicek all over him. Save made by Rose. Lomas another shot, but time has expired. And for the second time this season, the Kodiaks come away with a tie, this time against the Oakville Rock. Oakville will finish tonight 1 point behind Peterborough atop the Major Series standings, and now 1 point up on Brampton. Two back of the logjam between Six Nations and Brooklyn are the Cobourg Nissan Kodiaks. We're back on July the 8th from here in Cobourg when the Nissan Kodiaks face the Peterborough Lakers. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of great lacrosse in Ontario. Over the next 2 weeks, find an arena and support your local team. And we hope you have a great Canada Day weekend. Until the next time we talk, please stay safe. And we will indeed talk to you next time. I'm Matthew Carrick. Our director and producer is Gary Morrison. This is Major Series Lacrosse on the JVI Sports Network.